This will probably be proof of how silly it can be to be online shopping a late Friday night. Maybe any late night. I ended up getting this in the mail. This is a pedal kit from Stewmac, and the pedal is the Ghost Drive. They state it to be the closest that they have ever seen to the real thing, and the real thing being a clone. I don't even like clones. I have never tried the clone, but I have this one, and I ended up getting this, the Wampler Tumnus, the undertones. Did a shootout of clones and compared them to a real clone. It was Danish Pete playing them blindfolded. He ended up saying that, or thinking that this was the real clone and put this on #1, and the real clone ended up second. But it has not been on my pedal board for a while because I can't find any good use for it. Maybe it's to do with my style of playing, my preference for tone, that this is not for me. And how I ended up buying this, you can imagine that in hindsight it seems a bit silly. But it's here now, and I'll build it. And the added value for all of us could be to find out, is it a beginner's task or advanced even task? I'll take you in on the journey, and we can find out. Here is the kit. Yeah. It's the Ghost Drive, the original unobtainium Overdrive rare pedal kit. Cool. You ready? Here we go. Instruction guide. Good. How many pages? 38 pages of instructions. It looks like, yeah, there's work for days here. Oh, what have I done? Okay, we have the sticker. Good. And here it comes. Okay, I guess everything I need is inside this box then. So this is a bag of voltmeters, jack inputs, outputs, and rest of the electronics. Some soldering to be done. Screws for this one and this. Yeah, so basically 3 packages of goodies. So this is what you'll need. Helpful tools. All right, I'll have to start somewhere. Yeah, it looks not so overwhelming now that I've read through this. So I'll start now by sorting all the parts so they are easy to get to, and I'll just start with step 1 in the brochure and go from there. So yeah, I have sorted the stuff. We have the resistors, capacitors, diodes, the more hardware thing like the pots. And we have the charge pump. Yeah, different stuff. The thing that is quite challenging is that all of these resistors, they have different values. So you have to really either look at the color codes, and they are almost impossible. You have to view it in a magnifying glass to see, at least I have. Or you could use a multimeter to measure it. I was able to figure out by the help of this overview here which is which, but it's a bit hard. You have to really look carefully because they look very alike, and there are loads of them, so that would take some time. Be careful not to lose any of them. So they start with saying that you should free the printed circuit board, the PCB, and breakout board from the frame by cutting the small tabs. But to me it seems it will be easier if it's still attached to this frame. I can't see that it should be so hard to get rid of the frame after everything is in place, and it should be easier to get this helping hand to hold it. Look at this, works. I'm maybe doing something wrong already from the start now with just keeping it inside the frame, but it looks to me that it will be much easier to get a grip with this helping hand. All the resistors are in place, and I thought it came out pretty good with the soldering. It wasn't that challenging as I imagined, and it was a bit hard to tell them apart, the different values on the resistors. So you have to really use the multimeter. You will need one of these to be sure which value it has, because there is a lot of different values you have to figure out. So you need one of these, and I would also really recommend to get a decent magnifier glass. Yes, so it has been rather straightforward. I'm done with everything that is to be on the board. I will go over this with a magnifying glass afterwards to see that there are no connecting ends here causing a short. Yes, it says initially that you are to remove this one, but I can't imagine soldering this when it was loose, because when everything was in place here, it was so easy to just have it fixed here and to solder the wires. If this was already loose, it would be a nightmare, I guess, to solder it, to have it fixed, and you will have some more tools to hold things, because it was so easy to just take it off now afterwards. Came off easy. So what I did now, I've soldered just one of the lugs for each, so they are fixed, and then I can put them into the holes, and they will now stay more steady while I solder the rest of the lugs. There you go. The first one was that I managed to switch the wires on the DC input here. But how I figured that out was that when I had put it together like this and plugged it in, there was no sound. So I screwed it open, took a picture of the inside and sent it to technical support at Stewmac. And the next day I had an email from Tommy at Stewmac, and he said that he could see that I had switched the wires and told me to resolder them in the right places. I plugged it in again, and lights came on, at least the one on the LED here. And there was sound, but now I found that the treble knob here acted like a boost rather than a treble put meter. So again, I wrote an email to Stewmac technical support. Next day I got an email back from Tommy, and he had looked at the pictures I now had sent him. And he said that he could see that I switched places for 2 of the caps on the board. If you build this, it will be on page 21, and it will be the red one here and a gray one over here, and the values on them are 3.9 NF and 390 NF. So they are quite easily confused. So I had to desolder those two to switch places on them, and of course one of them broke a leg. So I wasn't able to use that afterwards, and I again wrote an email to technical support at Stewmac. Tommy answered me that he will send me a new capacitor for that, and I'm impressed by the service and the support at Stewmac. Managed to solder it back in place and the correct place, and it works. Here's my clean tones. So I have here the Tumnus as a reference. So let's start listening to the Tumnus from Wampler. The treble is at 3 o'clock. I could push it all the way on the Ghost Drive. It's still much warmer than the Tumnus. So for me it appears to be more harder in sound in a way. It doesn't have that mellow... Well, let's listen to this again. Push the gain. It appears more clear to me, the tones from the Tumnus. This is much warmer. Interesting. Well, I favor the tones from this one now. It's more musical. The harmonics appeals more to me. If I should choose between the two, no doubt, the Ghost Drive from Stewmac. It's very cool. And yeah, I think if you like the challenge of building yourself a pedal, go for it. This was fun project, although I had a lot of frustration with the challenges I had, not getting any sound, not having the treble work as it should. But the help I got from Stewmac and Tommy, thank you so much. You've been so kind and helpful. So it turned out good. And I think if you're a beginner and never have touched the soldering iron before, you should practice a bit before you start this project. But it's not that advanced if you're able to follow the instructions, and also with the aid of the support at Stewmac, I'm sure you will handle this one. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Bye for now.